Now, having given that little tirade, I see there's 3 males in this heat.
Timekeeper ready. Shearers, get set, go. We're just going to keep things ticking along, Ian. We've got a big program today. Day 3.
Yes, it is, Toma. A lot to get through today. Big, important day. Mentioned earlier the business end of the whole competition after day 3 after the last 2, so it's a lot to get through. Shearing, wool handling. I think all the pressing's finished now, hasn't it, Toma? The pressing's all over?
Yes, the pressing is done. Right, so we've got Huia Waipuna down here on table number 4 from Napier. She is the rose amongst the thorns here, Ian.
Yeah, she is in this heat, isn't she?
On table number 3, we're Mick Naraw from Masterton. Table number 2, New Zealand team member Rocky Hapetaiti from Dannyburg. And on 1, we have Cody Hawkins from Martinborough. So all of these wool handlers are very, very accomplished, Ian.
Yes, well, we saw Rocky in action last night. Wool handling for his country, and part of the New Zealand team, along with Cherie. But there's a few years' experience here. Hui is, I think I'm correct in saying, a master wool handler. Very experienced wool handler in the sheds and now in the training world. Cody from Martinborough. I must admit I don't know a lot about Cody, but he's part of the Hawkins family, well known. Fleeces on the table, all 4 of them now. Looks like Mick down there on table 3's got a pretty good throw. Rocky's is even slightly better. I'd give Rocky's throw probably 7 or 8 by the looks of it.
Ooh,
I don't know what the judge thought.
You're a hard man, Ian.
I'm looking down from above. And I'm winding up the judge too.
How about that judge last night on their birthday, or Run Around Sue?
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
It was.
I see they put her out in the dungeon this morning. Maybe she's played up a bit last night.
Yeah, Paula. I think she went out with the Brown brothers in the end.
Okay, we got Huia down here on table number 4, working away with her shearer. She's getting out all that cheek wool. She's happy with the processing that she's done on that fleece, so that's roll-up time. Cherie Alabaster. Cherie had a very, very good run in her heat. She was in the first heat, and these other wool handlers, they'll be thinking about that. So they'll be putting the hammer down as well, because this is the quarterfinals, and they want to make it through the next step, through the semis. Shearers going out the last leg. Come on, guys, you're doing good. We'd like to thank our shearers, Ian, for coming in and shearing for these wool handlers.
Yes, in this competition, for once, the shearers are the unsung heroes here. It's not about them at all. But at the end of the day, what they do is very important to the wool handler, and it needs to be kept even to make sure the competition is fair, even as far as speed goes. And depending on the grade of the grade or level of the competition, they need to either go faster or slower, depending. Here we are, Rocky. Rocky just gone back to the board, had his fingers working, just skirting that fleece. Fine line between what you take off and what you leave on. All gone back to get their crotch wool out, sort that out, get the top knot as it comes off. Have a little check up just to see if they left anything from when they were last back there, because a judge will watch wool that has been left behind and see how long it stays there. And they'll also be checking to see if anything else touches it, because that would be viewed as contamination, Tuma.
Yes, just watching Huia. She came through. As she walked past their first pieces, she had a look. She thought, oh, that doesn't look like a first piece, I'll put it back in the main line. So that's what she's done. So these wool handlers, you know, even though they've done the job, they're always double checking, you know, just to make sure that everything is bang on in.
Yes, it's a matter of always covering your bases, I suppose. And in the heat of battle, it's good old human nature comes into play, and we can all get a bit flustered. Mixed fleece on the table. Huia's fleece on the table. Looks like Huia's got quite a nice throw down there. Mix, a little bit bunched in the corners. Rocky's throw looks pretty good. Slight overhang there. 3 or 4. Probably A4 pages, possibly for the overhang. Cody's skirting around his fleece. Shearers with the next sheep out on the board. The pressure's on these people.
Just watching these wool handlers there, when they run back to the undermine, there's a few different sorts of wool that's around the undermine, isn't there? Because you've got soft wool, you've got short wool, and you could have a little bit of fertiliser. By that I mean like sheep crap. So, you know, you could have 3 different lines just in one small area.
Yes, that's right, Tomo. Urine stain won't scour out. It'll stay black, and therefore it won't take the dye in whatever process the wool ends up in. So therefore that wants to come out, and as you say, that falls in to the length, colour, contamination thing. So you've got, just in the crutch alone, there is short wool, which is obviously a length thing. Then you've got colour, which may be yellow possibly, or urine stain, and then you've got contamination, which is also urine stain. So plus you've also got little bits of sock wool that possibly may join up in there, and that's a Kempe fibre, modulated or hollow fibre. And now we're down to the last fleece.
1 minute,
Max
10
on the
seconds.
table, and I saw him with a bit of a despairing look on his face. Huia's on the table, flat on the table quite nicely, no overhang. And these other 2 fleeces down here on Cody's and Rocky's, both nicely placed on the table.
Wool handlers working frantically, their fingers going hard, mouths, feet, everything's going hard at the moment here. And these wool handlers, they know they've only got 1 minute and 10 seconds. Cherie Alabaster, she was lightning quick with her clean-up, and it was probably still 1.5 minutes. So not a lot of time, 1 minute and 10 seconds, but this is the best of the best, the open class. So these wool handlers are all very, very experienced. You don't get into the open class by sitting at home with the remote, do you?
Yeah, it's a balancing act. Do you sacrifice time, or do you sacrifice potential points, or potential points lost by leaving wool lying around? It's a balancing act as to what you decide to do. A point a second once you're over 1 minute 10 is pretty stiff. So you've got to time up there. Huia thought, I'll have these boys on. Rocky's hand's gone up. Experienced wool handler. Cody's has gone up. Mick's having a check. No, Mick's hand must have gone up too. Now the judges start their work. The competitor is not allowed to touch their fleece or any wool. They just stand there while the judge makes their assessment. They move the bins just to see what's been overthrown or underthrown or missed or whatever. Wool that's lying around, wool on the table, wool underneath the table.